everyone. Sorry for the technical hitch. So hopefully, I'll be making this session interesting for you, and it'll be a good segue for your lunch. My name is Subramanian Gopalaratnam. They call me Mani, and I'm the CEO and CTO of Resulticks, which is one of the upcoming, growing digital transformation on customer experience companies. Thank you for being here. I'll start my course with a very small video so you can actually have a look at how it looks. So, we are in the era of personalized digital banking. And as you know, all the millennials who grew up native to digital channels are really at home with all these technologies. So, I read a very interesting observation. Banking everywhere, never at a bank. So, the branch banking is slowly diminishing its value because everything you can do is either on a digital device or it is embedded as a service. Today, I seldom go to a bank. I've stopped using checkbooks 5 years before. Everything else happens digitally and through use cases. So the digital transformation is here for real and making the connection between a consumer and the bank is vitally important today because you never have the branding, right? People have trust relationship. How many of us today use PayPal, right? I really have payments that I do cross-border through different remittance services. And a bank is fast losing its relevance. But the brilliant banks have started looking at why customers should interface with them. What is that drives their motivation? And this is where the data plays the biggest role. If you know your customers well, you are able to serve your customers well. So that's the key context for creating new generation customer experiences with digital data as a backbone and transformation as the key. So this is an old joke where do you know your customer? Every part of an organization is looking at it very differently. It's like blind men looking at an elephant. It's a very harsh terminology, but it still holds true for a lot of organizations because they are not able to understand holistically who the customer is, and hence you have difficulty in servicing their needs. So, if you look at banking, it has come a long way. Banking is one of the earliest innovators in the world, right? Like ATMs came in 80s, where one could self-service themselves. Internet banking evolved late 90s, which was the earliest time anybody else, before pre-commerce days came in. And banking 3.0 forced every one of the big banks to go digital and mobile-led. And now we are in an experience-driven banking terminology. What do you mean by experience-driven banking? Is by knowing the needs of a customer before the customer is actually committing to buying something or taking a service. And that's where banking 4.0 is going. I've seen some partners here who started working with things like augmented reality based banking, experiential based banking, which is very heartening to see. So, the digital banking moves away from what is on the left side, which is basically the bank perspective, to completely data-based customer perspective. We call this outside in. Outside in provides us with an ability to work with customers' data and customers' behavior to drive your products, not try to sell whatever you have and try to think that customers like it. You segment your product in such a way that you are creating new products, you are allowing mass customization by your customer. Today, things like wealth management in the bank is actually mass customized. I don't need a relationship manager, but an automation or a robo-advisor is able to provide me with such a great link, which allows me to take decisions on my own, but I'm provided with content, I'm provided with offers at the right time. If you look at what is data of a customer, how do you actually harness this? The first part of it is you need a strong ability to consolidate customer data in one place. This is very key. It is not about a warehouse where you have a lot of information about everything. It is specifically about a customer, what you have. Then you are able to engage the customers based on the data. Like, for example, if you find a customer actually visiting an external website trying to find car loans or they're trying to buy a car, you should be able to process the signal as appropriate and provide your bank's offer to that particular customer. Or if somebody is coming to your website as an existing customer who is actually engaging with you in a particular fashion, you should know what it is. I've seen banks sending me emails which I seldom open. So they should not try to target me through email. It should be through a different channel which is convenient to me. I'm a notification person, so I'm always on the digital banking app rather than trying to open my email for my statements or anything. The other part is how do you manage unknown to known? That means you have a lot of visitors who come and leave digital footprints with you. How do you harness that data and provide the connectivity? How do you increase them as appropriate? And even today, there is a fair degree of people who still use branch. How do you make them come on to digital? How do you make sure that the content management is as appropriate, is unique everywhere? So when I get to a website, I see content that's relating to me, not what you want to serve, etc. And this is all coming together through a very good layer of mathematical model. I would dare not say AI ML very lightly. It needs data. You can't do magic without it. So an AI and ML insights are based on the data you have, and you can then provide a very good capability. Ultimately, you can work with third-party data through DMPs, which allows you to get more insights. So the key quandary of this decade is going to be how do you manage millennials? So there are only 4 parts. One is get mobile. So you have all the experience that you have from a branch to an app, branch to a web to mobile. Embrace big tech because millennials are free to give their information as long as they see a value. Increase the transparency in terms of telling them how you're approaching them, what data you're holding about them, and make them decide how to continue the relationship. And ultimately, you have to have the right touch points. So you don't want to bore me to death with a lot of communication. It should be contextual, what I have. So ultimately, there are only 3 things. Today, a lot of organizations are, they start with select an enterprise. That means I'm actually trying to broadcast what I have and try to see whether somebody is interested. The next level is customer centric. That means I know my customers, but I'm selectively targeting them. This is the current state of affairs in all our customers. So most of the banking institutions are either in the second level, and some of the leaders have gone into customer driven. That means I'm actually knowing exactly what my customer wants. I'm not doing it segment based, I'm doing it event based. That means when a customer is browsing for a car loan or purchase of a car or a house, I'm creating a personalized experience for this person to see car loans as appropriate. And I'm not only giving them what products I have, I see their credit limits. I'm able to give them exact quantum of money and exact interest rate that I can customize to them. And that is what is personalized. And that's where the digital strategy today lies. And you have to make sure that you utilize that. You don't try to be happy with the middle layer where I know my customers, I know my products, I'm trying to match them together. And today segmentation would work. A lot of times I've seen fashion industry trying to, let's say, expensive bag, they try to sell it to a certain demographic of women. Today it doesn't work because people are into sustainability, etc. They don't want to buy that bag at that level. So you need to be clear. And ultimately, if you're looking at selling a product, you're going to go into a customer-driven technology. Where you started with selling concept of a product and ending with profit through selling. And then the next layer is the way you are currently there. You are trying to segment and provide profit through increased market share. But where we are driving is to a profit through customer satisfaction. That's where the actual value lies. And this is what is supported by different parties. Today we have seen great presentations from our co-ops, from our other industries. All of us are looking at customer outcomes. That's what is going to be driving the banking of the future. How do we do that? In Resulticks, we actually, the first part is trends, where you have a lot of data, not just with your core banking systems or your wealth management systems or loan origination systems. You also have non-traditional data sources like videos. Today, YouTube, Instagram, and others become a very important part. You have social media, smartphones, and others. What we try to do is you are having how much data you are utilizing today and combining that with data that is not utilized, and that gives us the opportunity. And we apply three things: science to find the models in terms of location, in terms of repeatability, in terms of collective intelligence, apply technology, which is all there today, cloud, mobile, and IoT, etc., and apply to a business model. Not using all three together does not give you the actual profit. You need to have a business model that sustains your customers on a technology that is affordable and with proper insight. What Resulticks gives you is an ability to explore unknown unknowns. A lot of times banks have got the reams and reams of reports that is known knowns and profitable. So what? Some banks go into known unknowns. That means they know what they don't know about their customer, try to explore that. But the leaders explore unknown unknowns. That's what Resulticks allow you to do by looking at patterns. And if you look at a marketing stack, it is overwhelming. You've got so many components that are available today. In fact, I'll be sharing this deck to whoever is interested to register with us. This is the reference architecture for a marketing automation system. So where we are able to do a lot of things with Resulticks as a product, but we also work with other products that you already listed. So if you are using, let's say, ad automation with NewGen, or you're using API structures, service and others, we are able to integrate that into that and bring you a full view of who the customer is. As Resulticks, this is the last slide. We are relatively new, but that gave us the advantage of having the best technology. We have no legacy. It is built grounds up We've been the earliest participants or earliest evaluated members from Katmala from 2017 onwards. We have been up and up. We have served all the industries, including financial services. We have a very unique deployment model, which we can share with you. And if you have any questions, I'll be pleased to answer. And we have a booth. Please visit us for any further questions. Thank you.